Welcome everyone to part 2 of our 2-part series on data security in your Access Planet platform. For anyone who didn't catch up with part 1, Rob and I covered user accounts resets and password security last week. This webinar is available on demand and on our website if you'd like to watch it again.
It was a good one.
Today, Jenna and I will be showing you how to protect user data, prevent old users from logging in, and keep your user records nice and tidy.
We will be recording today's session, so if anyone needs to drop out early or you want to send this over to anybody in your team, hopefully the on-demand link will be available later today.
Let's have a look at today's agenda.
So there are 4 areas we're going to be covering today. The first one is how to anonymize user data. Then we're going to be looking at how you can archive user data by changing statuses. Next, we'll look at how you can lock user accounts to stop people from getting logged in. And finally, we will cover deleting users. As usual, if you have any questions, please submit those into the Q&A as we go, and we will answer those at the end of the session.
So quick introductions from us. I'm Frank, one of Access Planet's Customer Success Managers.
And I'm Jenna, I'm Access Planet's Customer Education Manager. So starting off with what we see as really being the main feature that we have available to support GDPR compliance, and that is anonymizing user data. So when a user is no longer working with you, potentially a trainer has left your organization, or you haven't worked with a specific customer for over 5 years, you might not want to delete them entirely, especially if you need to keep training records or financial history. And that's where the anonymized tool comes in. So in this section, we'll show you how you can replace that identifiable user information with anonymized information. So you can stay GDPR compliant while maintaining that kind of full and accurate record of past activity.
It's a very simple process. It's just 2 steps. First of all, find the user in your user data grid. And then secondly, use your Access Planet anonymisation tool to clear their personal information. Let's see the full process. So here we're going to open the user's data grid, and let's find the user or the users. And you can anonymize each user one by one, or if you've got multiple users, you can select multiple users. And then let's access the anonymize tool from the mass actions option at the top left of the data grid. Let's anonymize the first query and review the pop-up message and hit yes. The anonymized user has now been removed from our search results. And if we update our search to instead look for users called Anon, here we can find our newly anonymized user.
Nice. Okay, so before you start anonymizing users, what does the anonymize tool actually do? So what it does is it works with standard fields in your platform to remove that personal information. So some data is anonymized and some data is removed. So there's 3 things that are anonymized, and that is the full name, the email address, and the first line of their actual address. And then the removed information is ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, ethnicity, their title, the rest of the address, date of birth, mobile, external ID, their title, fax, and NI number. So all that on the right-hand side is just taken out for the user altogether. So our anonymized user will look a little bit like this. Boom. So you see the title and the external ID have been removed, but the name and the email address have been anonymized.
Yeah, we'll also remove audit logs relating to that user, set the communication sent to the user as blank, and it will set the user's status to inactive unless they already have a status of inactive or they're deleted.
Yeah.
So it's important that you know what the tool doesn't include as well. So if you have user-based custom fields, these will not be affected. You can use the bulk edit tool to clear those. Attributes are our legacy version of custom fields. These are also not affected. And any notes, documents and tasks linked to the user will stay as they are. Finally, email subscriptions are based on email address, not the user's account. So these will still be active as well.
Okay, so not all users need to be deleted. Sometimes you just need to tidy up your records and prevent someone from logging in. And this is where user statuses come in. So by marking a user as inactive, you can really easily filter them out of reports and your data grids while keeping all of their information still up to date and accessible when you need it. So in this section, we'll walk you through how to use statuses to indicate that a user is no longer active, preventing them from logging in and managing your user records efficiently. Excuse me.
There are just 2 steps. 2 is the magical number here.
Yeah.
To set a user to inactive. So again, let's find the user in the data grid and let's change the user status to inactive. Let's take a look at a video. So here again, we're going to open the user data grid and find the user. And make sure you have the status column included in your data grid. If you don't have that column included, use the change columns option to add it in. And then you can use a quick edit option to change their status to inactive. And hit save. Some people also like to add a note to the user to explain the reason for setting them to inactive.
Cool. Nice, right. So security matters, and sometimes you might want to prevent a user from logging in just temporarily. So it's not setting them to be inactive as a permanent thing. You might have had a potential security breach and you just want to lock that user's account so they can't access the platform for a short period of time. So in this section, we'll show you how to lock and unlock accounts securely so you can stay in control of who can access your platform.
So again, here there's just 2 steps yeah, to set a user to locked. So let's find the user and let's change the user status to inactive. Let's take a look at the full process again. So let's open the user's data grid and find the user. And then here again, you'll need to make sure you have a status column included in your data grid. If you don't have that column included, use the change columns option and you can add it in there. And then hit quick edit option to change your status to locked. And most importantly, make sure you press save.
Yeah.
Please note users will automatically be set to locked if they enter their password incorrectly too many times when they try to log in as well.
Okay, our final section of today is deleting users. Now, every system, every platform ends up with users that shouldn't be there. So that might be test users, or it might be users that were created accidentally. So if a user has no history attached, deleting them is sometimes the cleanest solution. So in this section, we're going to cover when and how to delete users properly so you can keep your database organized and clutter-free.
So funnily enough, there's just 2 steps here as well. So let's find the user again. But this time we're going to change the user status to deleted. Remember, this process only works if the user doesn't have a training or financial history. Let's see the full process again. So in the user data grid, let's find the user. And let's delete the user. They'll be given the status of deleted. And hit yes to delete them again. This will remove them from your database completely. There we go. And then they'll disappear and they're successfully deleted. It should only be used to remove users that have either been created by accident or users that were created for testing purposes. If you have duplicate users, there is a merge tool available to combine the duplicates together.
Nice. So that is us for today. So as a quick recap, we covered anonymizing user data first. So that was about removing or the identifiable information by either being removed or anonymized. Next, we covered archiving user data with statuses. That was about changing your users from active to inactive. Next was locking user accounts. So that's changing the status from active to locked for that kind of temporary removal of access. And then finally, we just wrapped up there with how to delete users. So let's move on to our Q&A. Okay, so over to you. Use the Q&A within Zoom. Have you got any questions for us? We have got a couple of questions we've been asked for before, so we'll go over those quickly first.
Okay, so first one, why do we need to delete users twice?
Yeah, it's a good question because you don't have to delete anything else twice in the platform. So generally, it's not advised to completely delete users. So like Frank said before, really you only want to properly delete users that have either been created by mistake or their test data. Just because users can be linked to so many areas of the platform. So even if they haven't been booked on a course, they still might have audit information recorded against them. They might have logged in and completed some actions. So it actually isn't even possible to delete users if they've been invoiced and booked on a course as well. So when you delete them once, your users will first of all get that status of deleted to indicate that they're a little bit more than inactive. But if you need to really delete them, you just complete that process again and it will clear them out from the platform.
Great. And what statuses stop users from logging in?
Yeah, it's another good question. We get this one quite a lot. So the statuses that will stop users from logging in completely are locked, like we mentioned before, inactive as well, deleted, and also the user status of pending. So that's locked, inactive, deleted, and pending. All of those will stop users from logging in. The statuses that they can have and log in with are obviously active. That's the main one. New, import, and temporary. So that's that. Okay, and then that's all of our internal questions. Let's have a look at what we've had in. Okay, good question from Billy. So Billy has asked, we have set users to locked before, but they can use the password reset link to unlock their account. Is there a way to prevent a person from logging in, but still allowing training admins to book on their behalf? Inactive or restrict booking stops us from being able to select them as a booker or a delegate. Oh, that's such a good question. Let's have a look at the statuses that we've got. So locked, they can reset it by resetting their account. Inactive is obviously stopping them from being selected. Potentially the pending one, Billy, but tell you what, if we'll take it away and have a test run of that, but pending will stop them from logging in. What I don't know is whether that will stop them from being selected as booker delegate. So we'll come back to you on that following this webinar.
That's a great question.
Really good question, yeah. So I'll give it a second just in case there are any more. No, all right, let's go.
There's no more questions. Let's wrap up.
Okay, so thank you very much for taking the time to join the session today. We hope you found something useful within it. If you do have any questions about user management, get in touch with our support team via our support portal. Billy will come back to you on your question as well. And we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Have a lovely day, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.